Good men that have been through stuff are really not willing to chase anymore because they found out that chase love is not real love. If you have to run after it or test it or remind it of your value, it is not here to stay and it will be a waste of his time.
What the is with men and their hurt feelings towards the idea of yearning for a female? Everything's gotta be, oh, bro, you're a simp. God forbid he shows emotion towards a woman. Quite frankly, I swear to God, if I end up with someone in this life, if he's not the biggest simp for me, I literally don't want it. If he can't yearn, I don't want it. I don't want it. Like, bro, if you can't make me feel something, get out of my face. You're not in love.
I fear I need a man in my life. I am a strong, successful female. I have a whole career. I got a lot going for me, and I still need a man. Because today, the lights went off in my car and said, low tire pressure. And I was like, oh. I would love to be able to text someone and go, babe, there's a light on, and I don't know what to do. Instead, you have me out here checking tire pressure, putting air in my tire. I'm tired of being strong. I just want to be weak and babied. And I want some man to go, vroom, my baby's in danger. Must get air for her tire.
What a lot of men are finding is that they don't get the same emotional support that modern women do. Modern women can go out here, cry, boo-hoo, and be wrong about what they did. But when a man is out here looking for that same support and something legit has happened, then all of a sudden, you need to man up. What happened to all the boys? Why are these men crying? You know, I remember the days, and I miss the days when men would just, you know, they would just be men and they would go to war.
I do not accept a coffee or a walk as a possible date option, and neither should you. First of all, I'm not a dog that needs to be walked. Second, I have an espresso machine at home, works fabulous. We're not doing drinks either. You're gonna try to get me drunk and take me back home. No. We are doing dinner. You're gonna pick me up, we're gonna come to the restaurant, we're gonna see your table manners. We're just gonna, study you a bit.
A lot of women have these expectations. The reality is you guys could go on a simple coffee date and that could be the man of your dreams, and you don't know that yet.
I started the egg freezing process. I did some preliminary tests which showed that my egg count is really low. The doctors did tell me that might affect my fertility. My eggs are high quality, but there's just not a lot of them.
Instead of focusing on superficial things that will allow you to rule out every man for every stupid little thing, is the man you're on a date with, is he a nice person? Does he seem to care? Does he seem interested in you? You guys got some chemistry? You got some good conversation going? Does it really matter if the date costs $100 or $5? Does it really matter? That does not determine whether or not he's a good man.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Did you know that in the last decade, the amount of involuntarily celibate and single men has increased by 253%? There are many reasons for this trend. Lower testosterone levels, easier access to porn, and of course, OnlyFans models. But that's not the full story. The ugly truth is that the modern woman is making more money now, and she's no longer interested in the average man. I know I'll get flack for saying this, and it's not good for women either, but it's the world that we live in. Women are out-learning and out-earning men at historically high levels, and it's created what some statisticians refer to as the of the average male. As a man, knowing this, you can either settle for where you are if you're content, or raise what I call your mating value score if you're not. This is what I help my clients do, and it's how they go from 5s to 9s and increase the quality and quantity of women they date. If you're curious about your mating value score and how to raise it, read the caption.
A lot of these modern women want to talk about how men got to do better, right? But then they don't really take accountability for the stuff that they do. They don't really, and this is what upsets a lot of men, they don't want to answer to anybody. Modern women never, when they answer to anybody, they don't want to be held responsible for their freaking actions. Let a man do something wrong, then we got to get the whole town out here. Everybody's got to know about it, and he has to be brought to justice. Whenever a woman does something, oh, well, she had she had an issue with this, and she had a reason for that, a whole bunch of nonsense. Nobody wants to hear that.
I actually do have a number of male friends. I'm not dating anyone. Been friends with them for years, so I would want my man to be comfortable around them because they're not going anywhere. I don't want anybody to tell me I can't have male friends.
This could be something like me and my coworker are working. Me and my homie that I have a strictly platonic friendship and relationship with are just sitting down and having a discussion. Like, why does every relationship have to make you feel uncomfortable?
You're wrong for that, because a work person, they can find time during the workday. You can find time on your lunch break if it's that serious. You at work for how much time?
8 hours.
8 hours? Yeah, when you clock out, it's to come home to me, not to spend more time with work people.
I don't want to be in a relationship where I don't trust my significant other like that, though. That's crazy.
It's not even about trust. It's literally like the respect and the time for me. Like,
why is it that the new generation of men want to be pursued? Like I
don't think you're looking for an actual answer, but I'm going to give one anyways. Men have always wanted to be chased. We've always wanted to be chased. And women have always chased men. Whether it's dropping a handkerchief so the guy you like will pick it up and come to you and start talking to you. Whether it's giving a guy your number so they can make the first move. Hell, even swiping right on Tinder is chasing a guy. The problem isn't that we want to be chased. The problem is we actually want you guys to put effort into establishing a relationship with us. That's where you guys are running into problems. Because you guys rely on us to message you first every single time. You rely on us to ask the questions. You rely on us to carry the conversations. You rely on us to initiate everything. And that is so exhausting. And then we do all this work for you and then you just ghost us. We aren't asking to be chased. We're asking for you to put in the same amount of effort in this relationship as we're putting into you.
What's crazy is that a lot of these modern women have the audacity. They have a lot of audacity. A lot of these modern women are calling men ugly. They're saying that men can't dress. They're saying that men don't have good hygiene. Right. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, say these things. If you're not taking care of yourself, then people should call you out. But then these modern women, the same ones, get online and they talk about how they don't take a bath. They just be laying up in their house stinking. They film themselves doing weird, crazy, nasty stuff. And a man is supposed to be like, oh, that's so cute. No, it's not. It's gross.
A good feminine woman is going to be a mirror for all the ways that man lacks in his life. And a man that is not emotionally mature, a man that is not mature, period, intellectually, mentally, spiritually, that is going to be very confronting for him. So he's either going to do one of two things. He's going to push that good woman away because he's not willing to deal with the reflections of himself that he doesn't like. Or he's going to say, it's time for me to evolve. It's time for me to change. It's time for me to grow. Let me see if I can actually do this.
So why do men take the route, oh, I'm gone? Why don't they sit in it and be like, I want to be better for myself and for this relationship?
Because, and to be honest, I think there are so many men that want to sit in it and they do not have the tools how.
What are the tools that they need?
How to sit inside of discomfort. Because think about it. A man is get the job done, get the job done, get the job done. There's no feel. It's all do, right? You don't have to be men in here. Do you guys agree? Y'all have to do a job, do a job, do a job, do a job. No one is saying, okay, well, how did you feel about that job? What was your expectation of that job? Do you feel like you did a good job at nobody's having those conversations. And now you get with a woman who's intuitive and emotionally sound and she's asking those questions. So if you've never been asked the question, you don't ask a baby to do calculus and then get mad when they fail. You sit down with the baby and say, what's 1 + 1? This is what's 2 + 3. And eventually you go to what is the square root of pi, right? You eventually get there, but it's not going to happen overnight. Now, the thing is, are they willing? Because if you're not willing, you're wasting your time based off of what you may
It just sounds like we're mothering grown men.
No.
That's what it sounds like.
No.
It's exhausting.
No.
A man has 2 minutes to offer you something in a social setting. So if you're out at a bar or a lounge and he approaches you, within 2 minutes of that conversation, he needs to be offering you a drink, a seat, an appetizer, $1 million, something.
Girl, what? What the you offering some coochie? Because I'm a little confused. In 2 minutes, y'all must be at a brothel.
Otherwise, you're just listening to him give a TED Talk. He's giving a seminar, babe, at your expense. Congratulations. You just sat there and heard about his childhood traumas for free. Are you a therapist, babe?
Girl, what? So we don't get to know people no more. We just automatically go for the pockets. Like, we just automatically entitled to a gift from a man, even if he don't know our last name.
I didn't know. Do you take Medicaid? I didn't know. That's crazy. Couldn't be me. Your time and attention is valuable. He needs to honor that. Remember, you don't approach a goddess without a gift.
And y'all be wondering why nobody approach y'all or nothing. Y'all be thinking people intimidated. When actuality, they not intimidated. They just ain't got time for the bullshit.
Okay, so here's my advice for men who can't get a girl. You need to be cooler. And I know that sounds like really obvious, but some of you guys have like lame hobbies that are not attractive. Gaming is not attractive. Like, it's fun, but it's not like, it's not hot. And there are certain hobbies that exude confidence or exude like emotional sensitivity or depth, right? Like slam poetry or go do stand-up comedy or don't do stand-up comedy. That's actually a really bad idea. Go scuba diving, go learn to play the guitar, piano. Oh God, piano is a sexy hobby. Painting, that's a hot hobby. Everybody likes an artist, right? Get really into a sport, any sport, but especially if it's like a group sport. If you go do volleyball, you'll meet people and you'll also get fit. There's a lot of ways to be cooler and hotter and get with somebody. They don't involve becoming like a total negative hater troll. So anyways, just want to put that out there to whoever in the universe needed to hear it.
Look, she's actually hitting on something real here. The thing is, a lot of guys aren't unattractive because of gaming. They're unattractive because they've made gaming their whole identity and they're not doing anything else. Gaming's fine, but if that's all you've got, yeah, that's a problem. You gotta have something going on. Hobbies, fitness, a direction, that's what actually moves the needle.
So earlier this evening, I was out at a restaurant and there was a group of 3 women that walked in that were probably around the age of 40. They all took a seat at the bar, and the one in the middle, I could overhear her a little bit from the far sides of the restaurant at the tables. And she was celebrating that she had just divorced her husband. Keep in mind, these are women who are in their 40s, making a scene in the restaurant, in the bar area, taking selfies. They're getting wasted and stuff like that. And exactly, guys, this is the problem right here, is that you have so many men being disrespected, openly disrespected and mocked. This woman over here celebrating the divorce, probably spending the guy's money to even have that night out with her girlfriends or whatever. And you have a lot of men right now who are afraid to speak out against this kind of stuff, who have been beaten down. And I'm going to tell you something right now. If this continues, if it hasn't started already, if this continues, there's all this talk about the male loneliness and that kind of stuff. I'm going to tell you something right now. Men can handle loneliness, being alone, whatever you want to call it, just fine. A heck of a lot better than a lot of people think. Women, on the other hand, from what I've seen, can't handle that at all. Even a lot of women I've known who are single, they're still posting pictures in the bikinis on social media. They're still posting all these story posts. They're going out of the house wearing makeup and all different kinds of stuff for attention. Men do not do that kind of stuff. At least masculine men who are confident in themselves do not do that kind of stuff. So my point being, even women who are not in relationships, who are single, are doing things for attention. Men, on the other hand, do not do those things because, quite frankly, they could be just fine being lone wolves, being alone, focusing on their grind. And the problem is, like with this example I mentioned at the restaurant, a lot of women have grown up with this kind of anti-man sentiment that's going to push men away. When men are walking away from relationships, dating, marriage, it is going to lead to a female, I don't even think the male loneliness epidemic is a thing, quite frankly. Like I've said, being lonely and being alone are completely different things. Most men can handle being alone just fine. If you have even 1 or 2 close friends who really have your back, or a sibling perhaps, or a father in your life, you're going to be just fine. You don't need a big social circle and distractions. So my point being is that if this kind of disrespect keeps happening, you are going to see an actual loneliness epidemic among women. The problem is, like I mentioned with this girl in the restaurant, she probably has a line of guys, sadly, a line of guys who might take that man's place. And that's a problem I've seen. There are so many men where, with single mothers, with women that have...
Black women, including myself, are very uncooperative at times unless we find a man that we feel is masculine and we feel safe with.
That's a fancy way of saying we have to handle you. In order for you to act like women should act, You have to choose to put down the BS, but it's a choice.
But don't you think that's realistic?
No, I don't. How old are you?
I'm 38.
And what man have you chosen to submit to in your 38 years?
I would say about 3 or 4.
And what's the longest relationship you ever had?
8 years.
8 years. How long ago was this?
This ran from about 2012 up until this summer.
And why didn't this man choose to marry you since you submitted to him?
He told me he didn't believe in marriage. That's all he told me.
Oh, okay. And when did he tell you this?
He always told me this.
Right. Did you want to get married?
I didn't really want to get married because I have 2 children already who are teenagers.
Surprise.
I just wanted to.
Surprise.
No, I didn't want to get married.
But what I'm saying is, what you did not yield the outcome you would have even wanted. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to deconstruct. You were with somebody for 8 years who didn't want to get married. And you know you wanted to get married, but he didn't want to get married. But why'd you stay there?
That's the whole thing right there. She spent 8 years submitting to a man who told her up front he didn't want marriage, then acted shocked when he didn't marry her. That's not on him. She made a choice, stayed anyway, and hoped the outcome would change. Men don't change their minds because you're patient. You either accept what he said or you move on. She did neither.
You men are hilarious. I have been trying to read all the comments from my video that's going viral where I explain to women why you guys pull back so often when you initially liked a girl, right? And I explain the whole lack of reciprocity thing. And while most of the men are just really excited, like, yes, there's a woman advocating for us. She gets it. Protect her at all costs. There are a whole lot of men who are like, this is common sense. What are we doing here? Why does somebody have to explain this? This should be common sense. Now, here's the thing. Women are not confused about this in the way that you think. It's more so they naturally have the desire to do what you want, but they have been miseducated on how to go about doing it. So their fear is that they're going to come across as really thirsty. They're going to come across as too strong, and that's going to turn you off. That's what's so ironic, is that the women are not coming across strong enough, and the men are not sure that they're supposed to pursue. Here's the thing. If you grew up watching stuff in the 90s, men were so aggressive. Men were very demonstrative. The girl could straight up say no, and he's still going to pursue, right? Look at a lot of the sitcoms that people laugh about. But in recent day and age, with all the stuff that has happened, there are different movements that have happened, people filming in the gym, talking about, oh my God, he's a creep. Men are taking an abundance of caution, and they are not playing with us, ladies, okay? They need it to be so crystal clear that you want them to give attention, that you are interested in the pursuit. It's not enough that you just answer the phone. It's not enough that you just text back. It's not enough that you accept the date. Heck, a lot of women will accept dates just because they're bored or, they want a free meal. So if you genuinely like a guy, he needs to know that you are feeling him. And men, this is why. It's not because they're egotistical. It's actually the complete opposite. They are so into you and they don't want to make a bad impression. Okay. So give the ladies some slack. Those of you who are kind of mean in the comments, which fortunately there weren't too many, chill out. Okay. Stop assuming the worst of women. I have so many women who are so into the guys. You do not see them on the calls crying, really devastated, worrying that they might have done something to scare the guy off. So many women in 2026 just have all this love to give, and they just don't know how to navigate. Okay. So they are terrified. They are so hard on themselves. They don't know if they're doing too much or too little. And so keep working with me. This is why I have a private men's page, and you guys keep giving me all the details, and then I translate to girl, and then the women can understand. Okay. So if you want to continue to bridge the gap between men and women, follow my page. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Guys, I just went to Harmon's. I love my nails also. I love my nails. But I was just at Harmon's, and oh my gosh, literal, I walk in the same exact time on the other doors though. Baddie, absolute baddie walks in, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, oh! And then, but obviously, like, I go do my shopping. I go get the potatoes, get the broccoli. Then I, like, turn to, like, go get the ground beef. Oh my gosh, I, like, run into him. And then I, like, run into him again. Not, like, run into him, but, like, you know, we just, like, cross paths. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. But then he was on the phone. And so then I was like, ooh, probably has a girlfriend, or I don't know. But I don't know. I was like, oh. It just sucks because, like, when this happens, when I, like, am in public, see someone I find attractive, which is very rare, like, it happened to me at the gym once, I'm just like, wow, I'm really probably not going to see them again. Like, do I go say something? Should I? I don't know. Because unfortunately, like, well, not unfortunately, but, like, most of the dates I go on are from, like, Instagram. Just people on Instagram. And it's just, like, which I guess is, like, more organic than, like, a dating app, but, like, still. I feel like it doesn't count. I feel like it's just, like, I feel like low-key social media is a dating app at this point. But yeah, I'm kind of sad. I'm like, wow, I'm not going to see him again. I thought he was so cute. I don't know what I would have said. He's wearing freaking cowboy boots and, like, a baseball hat or something. Black jeans, black hoodie. I'm pretty sure he had a mustache. So if somehow, I doubt he would see this. But if you were at Harmon's at 6:11, probably around 6, you saw me looking at you, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like I should have just said something to him. What's the worst that can happen? Probably the worst that could happen is him saying I have a girlfriend. I think that's the worst. Like if he wasn't interested, he'd probably still be nice, you know? But now I'm gonna go home and cook. Like, I could be cooking for you. Just kidding. Okay. I gotta get off.
You don't have to be a wispy, leaned back, uber feminine woman to date a provider type man. I've never been that way. I'm a very ambitious woman and I date very masculine provider type men. I didn't used to, but I do now because I've been able to master this one particular thing when it comes to dating. I'm able to turn off my go-getter, business boss, CEO brain with men, and I'm able to turn on my more relaxed, feminine, I'm good enough, I'm the prize type energy with men. And so why I've been able to master this is because I actually broke my addiction to struggle. For the longest time, I thrived in anxiety, overwhelm. Whenever there's problems, I was the go-to. I was so organized. And it's because there was a part of me that liked the struggle. It was like, ooh, this is a problem. I'm going to fix it. But what happened is that carried over into my relationships, where if a guy wasn't texting or planning a date, then I would find sneaky little ways to be like, ooh, when am I going to see you next? Or wear the red dress on our third date so I could catch his attention to get a fourth date. I went into proving, I went into convincing, I went into like, ooh, how do I get him to like me? Because I saw it as a challenge. Because the moment he stopped pursuing me the way that I wanted him to, a struggle ensued, and that activated my go-getter part. But the problem with that is it allowed me to date avoidant men and emotionally unavailable men for a lot longer than I should have, which ended up in 15 years of dating. The moment I actually went and reprogrammed my subconscious mind, like got into the root of what was causing this problem so that I no longer am addicted to struggle, my entire love life changed. And how I did it was I found that this idea of struggle was ingrained in me since I was a little girl. I had to work for good grades and then I would get praise. I was praised all the time for being a hard worker. Every single career I've had, I've been known as like the hard worker that's going to make it. So I was attached to this, validation of being a hard worker, and that just carried over into my love life.
But that is the exact energy that was actually pushing healthy men away. It's how I shifted it, where I started to retrain my body to actually feel safe and for it to feel normal, to feel ease, to feel relaxed, to detach from the unknown, to have not a care in the world. I had my standards, and if you didn't meet my standards, then I simply just withdraw my energy and push it over to somebody else. I don't complain, I don't react, I don't think, I just simply remove it. And that energy, that new mindset of being like, I'm the prize, I can relax into this, has allowed me to date so many amazing masculine men who make plans and treat me so well that, like, it's unbelievable. So I need you to understand that when you start to make these shifts of recognizing that you can put away your boss babe with men and start activating this more relaxed feminine type version for you, you are then going to start to attract the type of men that you genuinely want to be with. That's what I do with clients. You can find ways to work with me in my bio.
Nah, that's actually real talk. She's identifying something a lot of women miss. You can't chase a man and expect him to feel like the provider. Men need to feel like they're choosing you, pursuing you. The moment you flip into problem-solving mode or proving yourself, you flip the dynamic. He checks out because the energy's inverted. Once she stopped performing and just held her standard, suddenly healthy men showed up.
Your past matters. You are older. You have 2 more kids, and you expect new men to pay more than dudes that gave you babies. Plus, if I deal with you, I got to pay for them too. So yeah, ma'am, go back to the original point. See, the thing is, women like you used to understand that you're in a jacked up, effed up position and that you needed to get out here and impress. But now we've gotten to the point where women like you are honestly delusional. You think that, oh, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. Well, show me the result where men are going to wife up obese baby mamas or 2 like hotcakes. I'm not trying to be rude, man, but
I called you, so I'm listening. You told me to listen. That's what I'm doing.
But the thing is, you're listening, but it's like, I don't understand why you think having children is no big deal.
I didn't say that it wasn't no big deal, but everybody has baggage. No one is perfect. So.
Okay, well then tell your son to marry one.
And I'm not trying to say my kids are baggage, but no one is perfect.
No, they are. They are to a man. They are to another man. I've been a stepfather. They are baggage. And see, ma'am, here's the reason why black women like you will never marry. Mm-hmm. Because instead of sitting back trying to say, you keep trying to explain it away. Everybody has baggage. Everybody has this. I was young. No accountability.
So what about people that's married early on and they're not married now and they have kids?
It doesn't matter. We're talking about you. That? We're talking about you. I'm not talking about them. I can't do hypotheticals. What I can say is I'm talking to a woman that's 33 years old who had a child at 19 with a deadbeat.
Yeah, that's the reality. She's 33, got a kid at 19 from a deadbeat, and now she's mad that men won't pay premium prices for that situation. But here's what she's missing. Men aren't stupid. They see the pattern, they do the math, and they realize they're not fixing what somebody else broke. Then she gets defensive about accountability instead of just accepting where she's at. That's why nothing changes. And the longer you keep on letting them talk, they talk themselves right out of high value. I was raised in a Christian home. Fantastic. I believe in God. Fantastic. But do I go out there and I show my body? I'm not going to put her videos out here. But yeah, no, she's out here, obviously with her bikini on. If you go to whatever beach, and there's somebody I had a conversation with where they did this sort of thing, and they talked about how holy they were, and then they went out there and they were showing their body off like that. Got your chest all out. Oh, I don't need to show my chest. Chest is all out right here, all in the camera. Pulling your shirt up. Like I said, I ain't gonna include this. Got your legs all spread for the camera. We don't need to see that, right? Out here, once again, in the bikini. Keep on letting them talk. They're going to talk themselves right out of being high value. And it's always going to come back around to, oh, well, I got an education and I'm a hustler. Fantastic. A couple of things that men don't really care about. Fantastic. Good for you. Good for you, definitely. I give you respect, especially going to Harvard, getting your degree, PhD, saying, hey, I want to be able to, be in these conversations. I want to know a little bit more about what's going on. So I'm going back to get my master's degree or my PhD. And they accepted me. I'm happy about that. You should be. That's a huge accomplishment. Go get the bag. But a lot of times what we do, and you see, like I said, when she was talking, she started off as, I'm perfect, I'm this and I'm that. But then she started to say, well, say for instance, I have a glass of wine here and there. Okay, nobody asked you about that. But you're saying, well, yeah, I have a glass of wine here and there. Meaning that's not the way that I was brought up. I wasn't supposed to be doing that, but I'm doing it now, but it's okay. Yeah, I wear a bathing suit every now and then, but I'm pretty. I'm good looking. I should be able to do that. Nobody said anything. You did. That's not the way that you were brought up. So even at 49 years old, we still have modern women who are delusional. Delusional. Now, I don't want to give space to excuse him being a bum, but there's a lot of things that modern women continue to say, and it circles right back around to the same playbook. No, ma'am. Absolutely not.